A and S.
It was...
I imagine Eswari sitting down to dinner at a Denver sushi restaurant with their family, unfolding the infinite menu of specialty choices, beginner rolls, and nigiri. Their dad checks every box on the menu, checks them again, and Eswari laughs when the overflowing bamboo boat lands on their table. Growing up South Asian in Southwest Denver, Eswari finds belonging and grounding with their family. These humans help them feel restored so that they can actively join and transform spaces for the better.
Yeah.
They haven't been on the planet as long as you'd expect, but they are not afraid to study the politics of social movements, protest, and add their voice to the charge.
Oh, wow. Same with you. Thank you for saying that. I think right now, in this point in my life, I'm really getting to
I can't imagine the bravery required to co-found the organization Students Against Campus Sexual Assault as an undergraduate. This is exactly what Eswari did, and in the process found a community of people who have become an extended family. On today's episode, Eswari discusses their love of family, fascination with the power of social reform, trusting yourself to change your path, and of course, long evenings at sushi restaurants as a way to say yes to everything. On the ampersand, we call this bringing together of the impossible the alchemy of anding. Together, we'll hear stories of humans who imagine and create by colliding their interests. Rather than thinking of and as a simple conjunction in that conjunction-junction kind of way, we will hear stories of people who see and as a verb, a way to speak the beautiful when you intentionally let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. As St. Mary Oliver asks, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Oh, I love this question. When I'm mothering, creating, and collaborating, it reminds me to replace a singular idea of what I think I should become with a full sensory verb about experiencing. I'm Erika Randall, and this is Eswari Duggarala on the ampersand.
It's really cool to have like that different perspective and to see those different films that like not a lot of people are familiar with, and to be able to recommend them to them. And same with music. It's just like I love to see unpopular genres.
Yeah.
Because I feel like not a lot of people appreciate the beauty of those. So.
But what if we mention them on the show and then they become popular? Will you have ruined them single-handedly?
One thing that
should we not say the names of the cool bands that no one knows about?
I would love to. I think one thing about me that I don't know if I like about myself or don't like about myself is I'm a huge gatekeeper when it comes to like music and movies and stuff like that. I mean, I am happy to share with my friends and family, and then if something becomes mainstream, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, no. Would you tell me a cool band that because I have like one that I think is cool, and now everyone knows it, and then I'm like, I was cool for like 10 seconds.
Ooh, I really love Caro Caro Bonito. Okay. It's a Japanese English pop band.
Okay. Oh my God. I do not see you listening to Japanese English pop.
They make electronic music though. Okay, it's like electronic.
Better.
Yeah. It's like electronic pop. It's very loud music, but it's awesome.
You and your mellow nature likes this loud electronic pop.
I do listen to very loud music.
Do you listen to loud music while you're studying? Like when you wrote your thesis, which is a kind of a heavy, say your thesis title.
Support for social movements, how the moral basis of something influences extreme protest actions.
So it's about extreme protest and morality. So you were researching social movements and extreme protest.
Yeah.
Which, like, did you listen to Pussy Riot while you were...
I have never heard of that.
Yes! Okay, write that down, and we'll talk about... It's a Russian badass chick band.
Okay.
Yeah. And so thinking about and talking about extreme protests and that they were jailed for protesting, did you look at populations that were specific in time or to a map? Where did you start in looking at protests? And then I want to know what you were listening to while you were writing.
I started with the BLM movement. I think what kind of made me start thinking about ideas for this thesis was the riots during the BLM movement. And a lot of people who were allies or advocates for Black lives suddenly were not after the riots. And to me, it's like, why are you choosing how you want to be an advocate? You know, like, why are you controlling what is acceptable for protesting for people's rights when it's not your rights that, you know, we're protesting for? So for me, it's frustrating when people have like set boundaries for how they will be an advocate, what is palatable for them in terms of being an advocate. And to me, being an advocate means, you know, it's an uncomfortable position sometimes, and you have to sit with that discomfort. And there's, you know, a lot of violence that comes with oppression, and sometimes violence is necessary to get rid of that oppression. And a lot of people just don't want to accept that, and they're not willing to go above and beyond to help people. So I just wanted to dig deeper into, you know, moral standards and how that dictates people's support for extreme protest actions.
As you were growing up, you grew up in Denver.
Yeah.
Can you describe your intersectional identities in growing up in Denver?
Yeah. So I grew up in Highlands Ranch, which is a suburb near Denver, and it is predominantly white and highly conservative. Mm-hmm. And for me, understanding my identity was very, very difficult. And I didn't really feel like I knew my identity until like later in college. But
did you have identities put on you?
Absolutely. So I think what I was trying to mold myself to be someone that people expected me to be. So being an Asian American, and especially a South Asian American, you are, you know, thrown into the model minority myth. Or
so straight A student.
Right. Yeah.
Quiet.
Yeah. Obedient. Super smart in only STEM related things.
Yep. You felt that from your community, from your families,
both,
from everywhere,
honestly,
and from yourself.
Yeah. Like every aspect of my life was telling me that you need to be this version of yourself. And I, you know, told myself that I wanted to be a doctor. I was pre-med, and obviously I was none of those things.
Did you have a secret journal of who you really were? Or did you have a place where you put that? Or I
just didn't really think about it. I faced a lot of racism in Highlands Ranch, but I didn't realize I was facing racism. And, you know, it would feel weird when I was experiencing racism, but I couldn't put a label on it. So it was a really confusing time because I just wasn't able to figure out what is the most authentic version of myself when people are imposing all these stereotypes on me or calling me certain names because they think it's funny. And it was just hard.
And you had a brother that you grew up with?
Yeah. And
could you two kind of work this out together? Were you looking at each other thinking, we're performing a role here? Or was he an ally for you? Was he kind of a first support in that?
I think so. My brother's name is Navya, and I think we both went through similar things. You know, most of our friends were white. You know, we grew up in a white community.
And he's an artist. Was he a closet artist?
I would say so.
Yeah.
He grew up drawing so many cool things. Mm-hmm. And then he stopped because of that STEM stereotype. And he started doing like programming, all this stuff. And I'm sure he liked doing it, but he subdued that passion for art because it was seen as wrong.
Yeah.
And
that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Did you notice it?
Yeah, I think we all noticed it, but, you know, no one really ever said anything about it, in my opinion.
Then you went to college.
Yeah, then I went to college, and it was kind of like Highlands Ranch all over again, but
oh no,
but liberal this time.
Yeah.
So, you know, Boulder is, you know, predominantly white as well. Mm-hmm. And here, when I got to Boulder, it kind of felt like it was fake liberal.
Uh-huh. Yeah, hypocrites, that's what I say.
Yeah, hypocrites, that's funny. And it was also a struggle for me when I got here. Most of my friends were white, most of my communities were white.
You felt the STEM push still.
Yeah, and I still was pre-med at first.
You were?
Yeah, and I took so many, you know, chemistry and biology classes, and oh my God, I hated them. Like, But I kept telling myself, this is what I want to do. But then...
And then did you have a secret journal where you were like, Eswari actually wants to riot?
In a sense, yeah. So I started, and then I minored in sociology, which kind of...
The sneaky minor.
Yes, that kind of opened up a third eye for me a little bit, where the first class I took was U.S. race and ethnic relations. And that's when I started learning about the functions of racism and race. And I was learning about, my position as an Asian American in this country, especially being Indian. I was always told that my experiences with racism and stuff and sexism, whatever, were not that serious. And I feel like to some extent that's kind of like what's imposed on Asians, like what you experience is not that serious. So when I took this class, I was like, oh, it is serious. So then, I got interested in sociology, but then I kind of realized that sociology was also whitewashed in a sense. And I didn't know ethnic studies was the thing until the end of sophomore year. Okay. And I think I just found it like a small description of what ethnic studies is online, and I was like, oh, this is what I wanted out of sociology. So I didn't even take a class yet, and I decided to major in it. And that was the best decision of my life. I learned so much about myself, and I learned about what radical thinking is in terms of myself and my communities and how to make change and how this world truly functions. And the reality of this world is just... It was so empowering for me to be an ethnic studies major.
And you use this word radical, that you discovered what it was to be radical. Yeah. And you shared with me about this idea of Sonia Renee Taylor's radical self-love. Yeah. You can hold that simplicity and happiness, and then this radical activism. Yeah. That's a big part of who you are. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that's how we came to know each other. Mm-hmm. And I remember you coming into my office and telling me this thing you're going to do. Right. And I thought it was the first time that we'd had students really coming together around sexual violence on campus. Yeah. And creating an official club, right? Those are the facts. Also crazy that it was the first time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Folks had done projects, folks had been active in certain ways, but talk to me about the generation of this group and how it aligns with this notion of enoughness and then this radical activist piece. Yeah. My friends and I, we started Students Against Campus Sexual Assault in June of 2022. And we wanted to start this organization because we felt like there was no outlet for students at our university. When it comes to sexual violence at universities, it's so confusing. I feel like it's hard to tackle the issue, hard to figure out what can I do to involve myself with this issue. So we wanted to create that outlet for students to talk about the issue, their experiences, how they can contribute to this issue. And I think creating that simple outlet is a way for people to get that sense of enoughness because... Yeah, like, when you're, sitting in confusion about what can I do about this stuff and suddenly there's an outlet, it's like, let me go to this meeting, let me just learn a little bit. A simple, circle like we did with you, just sitting there and talking and learning, it gets our brain moving and it gets us wanting to create change. And that is enough, you don't need to go and do something like... You don't need to try and create policy change right away because that is hard. And that's a huge flaw of a lot of, particularly I would say, I think it's all humans, but younger humans, where it's like, I need to change the world. And then they aim over here and it's like, can we just work on our communication first? Yeah. Can we create spaces? Yeah. Can we show up? Mm-hmm. Can we show up for each other? Right. And when you got a group together and you start sitting in circles and you all started putting your bodies in, what kind of change did you make? What did you find that happened in your body and then on the student body and for campus? Yeah. For me personally, this was the first time I felt community at CU Boulder. So my current friend group now is all the co-founders of SACSA. And it's the first time that I've had a friend group that's not all white. And, I'm friends with people that identify the same way as me now and have had similar experiences to me. And it is like, I'm so grateful and I cannot believe that this is my reality now through SACSA. Yeah. You created a space of belonging by speaking up against spaces that didn't shape belonging. You made that together.
Yeah, and it was such a beautiful experience to do that. So that's how it impacted me, and just being able to create that community for people that have felt lost at this university was really amazing to see. And I think we also created a space for networking and networking is huge for social change. We networked with student government, a lot of faculty, different organizations in Boulder, and I feel like we became a focal point for a lot of the university and different organizations to be like, hey, we finally have like a central group that's addressing sexual violence at the university. We would love to work with you. And because of that, we've had so many, self-care workshops. We're working on so many advocacy projects, like creating a timeline of the history of sexual violence at CU Boulder, because there needs to be a tool of like a timeline that's been graphed out for people.
Are you unpacking that? I know it was hard when you started. It was hard to find because so much of the information has been...
Yeah, but we found like there's like a archive somewhere. Oh my God, we have found so much from that.
And now do you see your life as an activist moving forward? Do you see this as part of your engine?
Yeah. So I double majored in psychology and ethnic studies, and I initially wanted to go to grad school for psychology and become a therapist, or I don't know. And maybe I still do want to become a therapist at some point, but ever since I took ethnic studies, ever since I, helped to create these organizations and involved myself with different social justice initiatives, I am just an activist now. Like, that is my true calling. And that's how I want to continue my life from now on. And I think, so I do want to take a few gap years. And during that time, I want to learn about how I can be an activist outside of academia, because academia is all I know. Like, it's all I've been a part of my whole life.
And it's a bubble.
Yeah. So I want to get out of that bubble for a little bit to see if I even want to go to grad school, if I find my calling outside of academia.
How do you take care of yourself when you put yourself over and over in these other stories? How do you hold space for you? And then we know it's not just a bubble bath.
Yeah. I think reflecting with my best friend and my family. For me, reflecting is very comforting. And my best friend, Max, is my anchor in all of this. And my parents and my brother, like, they are the ones that know the most about me. So I can,
And they're in support now. Your parents, they see you in total.
Yeah. And
you are fully you with your family.
Yeah. And being these four people are the ones that know me the most. They know my secrets, and just being able to talk to them after something stressful is enough for me. And just reminding myself that the fact that I'm doing this in the first place.
You're showing up.
Yeah, that I'm showing up and that I have a community behind me is what grounds me.
You told me recently over email that you're reading for pleasure.
Yes, some stuff I'm reading. I just finished reading the Poppy Wars trilogy, which is like a military war fantasy, and it has like a lot of Chinese history in it, and there's a lot of shamanism and magic, and it was super cool, but it's for adults. Yeah. So that was awesome to read. And now I'm currently reading The Namesake, which actually a lot of my friends read that in middle school, and I didn't know about it. And it's a South Asian story by a South Asian author.
And you didn't know about it?
Yeah, and I wasn't really exposed to South Asian authors or South Asian writing or experiences growing up. So I feel like I'm kind of picking up the pieces now and learning more about the stories of my communities. And
do you relate to the stories when you...
Yeah, this is The Namesake. I decided to read it actually because it's kind of very similar to my family in a weird way. The main character is exactly like my brother almost. Like, they both went to UCLA. They both had an interest in architecture. He has a sister. He was interested in art. I don't know. And his personality, it just all screams Navya, my brother. And
wow.
So...
And what's the character's name in the book?
I actually haven't gotten to that part yet, but I think his name is Golgol.
Okay. I think that I remember when you shared the title with me, I was looking it up, and how the author was saying that to say your name when you have a name that is outside of kind of the American standard is like there's a shame that comes from making others have to work so hard.
Right. Yeah.
Is that resonant with you? Did you ever feel that about your name?
So funny thing is, so my name is Eswari, and for the first 18 years of my life, I went by Eswari because that's what people just pronounced it as, and I never.
And you just let it ride.
Yeah, and then once I got to college, I was like, maybe I should go by how my name is actually pronounced, and sometimes that takes like Eswari, la, 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 and I'm like Eswari, yes,
Eswari,
and I'm happy to continue saying my name for you until you get it right, because I deserve to have my name said correctly. So yeah, that definitely resonates with me, and I think a lot of people with ethnic names, they have to, go through that, just having to constantly fix people's pronunciation or, whatever. But
now it's an opportunity for
now
you.
It's an opportunity. Now it's empowering for me to be like, this is my name. This is how you're going to say it. And I don't, let people, dictate what my name is. So yeah, I definitely resonate with that. And I'm glad that I finally fixed how people say my name. So
I'm glad too, and I'm glad I know.
Yeah.
Because it does make a difference. It holds our stories.
It does. Yeah. Yeah.
It
and
definitely does.
It's my truth. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. Should I go to Quick and Dirty, Tim? Yeah. Oh my gosh, this has been so great to learn with you. Okay, this is the time for the Quick and Dirty.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so if you're a long-time fan, long-time listener, you'll know that I'm going to ask you questions. Okay. And you have to answer as fast as you can.
Ooh, okay.
It has to be quick. It doesn't have to be dirty.
Okay.
Okay. Your anding food combination. Favorite things you put together that maybe nobody else does. I love to talk about food in this part of the show.
Avocado and whatever, ham and turkey, like whatever is there.
But avocado first.
I guess.
You're not feeling this.
I don't know what my food combination is.
You don't have like a weird thing? Like when you're like, man, I just was awesome. I'm going to go get an iced latte and Slurpee.
No.
Food does not drive your...
I'm a huge foodie, but I don't think I've had weird combinations.
Do you cook?
I hate cooking.
I hate cooking. Do you order?
Yeah.
Okay, so who would you call? See the menu.
Okay.
You're ordering. Are you going to get... I'm in a Thai restaurant right now, in my mind.
I am in a sushi restaurant.
You're at a sushi restaurant. Okay, what are you going to get? I love sushi. We're going for sushi after this.
Ooh, I think I'm going to get the ruby red roll.
Yes.
Spicy tuna is my favorite sushi.
Yes.
All of the nigiri.
Yes, also, and the hamachi. And
yes.
And all of it.
Yeah,
okay.
And then all the appetizers, dumplings, tempura.
All of it.
All of it. My family orders everything on the menu every time we go out. And we sit
This is why you can't do just the this and this. Because you're going to get all of it.
My family comes up to Boulder, and we always go to a sushi restaurant. And I think my dad orders all the appetizers.
All of it.
I mean, 90% of the appetizers. And so many sushi rolls. He's like, yeah, and we sit there for hours eating. And the waitress is like annoyed with us at this point. But... that's what my family does. We just order
all of it.
All of everything that looks good on the menu.
And I love it with your mermaid hair that you're just like going in for the sushi.
Yeah.
Full mermaid.
Yep.
Are you ginger, wasabi, soy?
Not ginger, wasabi.
Wasabi.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go out for sushi. I'll take your ginger.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah, I like anything that has like a crunch in the middle and then the raw on it. Like
me too.
The tempura with the salmon.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
yep.
That's happening. All right. 3 books by your bedside.
The Namesake, Poppy Wars, because I just finished it, and Becoming Supernatural, which I'm going to read next.
Okay, we're going to read that next. 2 radical self-love practices that I should start today.
Ooh, sitting with privilege and giving yourself grace. Yeah, I think those 2.
That's my prescription. Thank you, doctor. Okay, if you could start a new major that you would take if you were starting school again, okay. What's that major?
I don't know, social justice or the world and Jennifer Ho. I don't know. Yes. Like, because she teaches you all about the world and how it functions, and she just, like, is amazing.
I was the
And
chair of
everyone
that
should.
search committee.
Oh, thank you so much for that.
Me and Paul Sutter, you're welcome. No,
She is
I can't take
amazing.
credit for Jennifer Ho. I can only take credit for getting to meet her first.
She's just incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
Everyone should take a class with her. Yeah.
And be a friend to her.
Yeah. Oh, my
and
gosh.
have her as a mentor.
Yes.
Oh, I love this. I was going to say other mentors who and, but Jennifer Ho, ultimate ander.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing.
An organization that has and in it, or two organizations that you see that are doing incredible work.
Saxa.
Saxa, shout out.
Saxa and... why is this hard? I don't know. Any LGBT center.
Yeah.
It's amazing work.
Yeah. All the human rights campaign. That's when I started. That's how I started.
Yeah.
Licking envelopes when I was your age.
Yeah.
Because that's what I could do. That's what I could
And
do.
now you're here.
And now I'm here. Okay. A perfect city for the best, worst family travel. Like if you're going to go someplace and it's going to be like a terrible things happen or hilarity ensues, and then you and your family tell that story forever. What would you'd go from here to here?
So if... well, can you repeat that?
Like, okay, so you're going to go on a trip with your family.
Okay.
Because you like your family.
Yeah.
Okay. You would go from here to here. And it could be in your memory or it can be made up.
Okay.
What are the places you would...
Ooh, okay, Japan, because my dad lived in Japan, so I want to go see his life there.
And sushi.
And sushi. And I watch a ton of anime, so I want to be a tourist.
And Caro, how do you say the name?
Caro Bonito.
Caro Bonito.
Yeah. She's just, I think she's half Japanese.
Okay.
But yeah, Japan. Go back to India. We are South Indian, but I've never been to North India and seen the Taj Mahal. And I feel like I should. So I honestly traveling across Asia. I think all
With
of
your
us-
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all have so many interests
That you would just like.
that I feel like, yeah, we'd all just be able to pick and choose where we want to go. So,
And you'd go with your family if you could go on.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
with my family for sure.
I love that. Okay, you're going to send off a graduating class or the group of fellow activists off into an adventure, off into their next, and you're going to offer a blessing that starts with and. And may you always have clean water, a good friend, and tampons. Like, what would you say?
Ooh, I don't know why, but the first thing that came to my head was do your worst. Do your worst in terms of fail as much as you want. Do your worst and challenge everybody, be outspoken, be confident, and being loud. Because that's going to get you places.
That was Eswari Duggarala on the Ampersand. To learn more about Eswari and all the things we discussed on today's podcast, check out our show notes. The Ampersand is a production of the College of Arts and Sciences at the University of Colorado Boulder. It is written and produced by me, Erika Randall, and Tim Grassley. If there are people you'd like us to interview on the Ampersand, do please email us at asinfo@colorado.edu. Our theme music was composed and performed by Nelson Walker, and the episodes are recorded at Interplay Recording in Boulder, Colorado. I'm Erika Randall, and this is The Ampersand.